everybody? Welcome to a new episode of A State of Loud. I'm your host, Chris Jefferson, and welcoming to the show is me this day. We're going to have a solo episode. First one I've done on the show for this season, mainly because I wanted to feature a lot of cool people, man. I've been surrounded and blessed to be around such amazing people. I hope that you guys have enjoyed hearing their stories as well. So today it's just going to be myself and my producer, AJ. AJ, if you want to say
Yes,
hey, what's
sir.
up to the
Hey, what's
people.
going on, podcast? What's going on, people? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, I mean, we just kind of came into the studio, wanted to get the show started. A lot of energy around, a lot going on in the mind, and just want to talk about it. Usually I do these shows just to kind of talk about what's going on in life, if anything's sitting on my heart, to express it with you guys. But I'm definitely going to address the elephant in the room and talk about me cutting all my hair off.
Yeah,
I know you're probably looking like, who is this dude? Why did this happen? And it boiled down to needing to start anew, right?
Yeah.
I think we don't talk about that enough, being able to renew. It's kind of been a theme that I've been hearing a lot and understanding and expressing in life, is that we are often so caught up in staying in a lane.
Yep.
Right? Like, we so often put ourselves in boxes. We don't get up. We don't get out of it. And if we try to get out of it, our family just kind of puts us back in it, right? Like, our friends put it back in it, or your job, right? We kind of get stuck in this formation of it, of who you should be, right? And I think we kind of got to get away from that. So even myself, like, I hate the cliche of new year, new me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the cliche, and I never understood why, but I now understand. It's because I don't think you should use the beginning of the year as a means to start. Like, if you kind of want to start early, just start. But I think if you have a new year and you use it to reflect on the last year of your life, and then get ready to build a new, and you keep churning that out, I think you're going to see some long-term games. But I think if you're literally like, new year, new me, y'all better watch out for me this year, do it. I want to see you do it. I want to see people out there getting in shape, getting money, getting their mental health in order, and just kind of getting life right. So for me, it was kind of like, what did I feel like this year? And I think one of the first things we did with the mentees, big shout out to Mysterious Ways mentees. Y'all merch are coming soon.
Thanks.
One of the first things we did was our vision boards. And I had you guys do vision boards because, if you aren't reminded by seeing what it is you're working for every day, when things get hard, it's easy to forget. And I'm taking a long way around for the story about my haircut, by the way, so join me for it. But I think that's why we did vision boards, to be reminded of what we're fighting for, what we're working for, what we're trying to build. And when I did mine, one of my words on there was dominate. And it just came to me, like, this year you have to dominate. Like, you've worked hard to get yourself into so many rooms, so many open doors for yourself. Now you're already here. What are we doing? It's time to dominate. If you're not, I'm a firm believer, if you're not trying to get to the height of your class, the front of the line, work your way to the top, what are you doing? And that's not for everybody, right? I think we all have a place in which we want to be, but for me, I definitely love learning. I love growing. And mind you, it doesn't mean I need someone else to lose for me to win. It just means I need to do better for myself. And if that makes you look like you're losing, or that you're not doing as well, that's okay. I think we don't realize that. That's okay. If someone else makes you feel like you're not doing well, the ego's going to hurt. That's okay. I think having that ego is
Work
normal.
harder. I tell them work harder.
Yeah, and I think we don't give people enough patience on that even. And we're going to get into patience with people in a moment. But I dominate was my word. And I just got the calling and feeling to just cut all my hair off again. Like, start fresh, start anew. Like, you work your way up here to get here. You're at a new level. What are we doing to level up and to dominate again this year? And it really sparked, like, just new look, new feel. I don't know. I like it. It's definitely easier.
It's different.
It's different. It is different. I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments what you think of my haircut before. I gotten a lot of different approaches about what it looks like. People say, wow, you cut your hair. It looks good. And I'm like, you're still in shock. Like, you're still not sure, man. It's a dramatic change, but nah. So that's kind of how I got to this point in cutting my hair. And it was a difficult task. Because I know, AJ, you do research into this, where your hair, for some believe your hair is an extension of your nervous system.
Oh yeah, it connects you to the nature around you.
That's right.
Definitely, yeah.
Can definitely connect you, and so you can feel more and perceive more. And that was the big hurdle of
Especially
cutting
with
it
melanin.
off. Bro, yes.
Yeah.
It was the big hurdle of cutting my hair off was the fact that I didn't want to lose my connectivity to the world around me. But ironically enough, I feel more connected than ever right now. It's a weird feeling, right? It's almost as if my hair was growing my receptors to get stronger, and now that I cut them off, I'm like full blast, and I'm like, all right, I can feel it, man. And it's a good feeling just to start understanding what around you and see things a little better, and also not having a distraction. To be honest with you, I think so much can go into your look, and I think you should care about the way you look. Take care of yourself, right? But I think we can focus so much on it, we lose fact of like who is the person behind the look. Like, why don't we put enough information there? Why don't like, let's just sit on that for a second, right? Who is the person behind the look?
Wow.
I'm just saying, like, we live in a world, right? We live in a world where your look is everything. If you're not marketing yourself, if you're not marketing your brand at this point, you're kind of falling behind, right? Even for job interviews, we got LinkedIn. Professional profiles are now a social media platform.
Yeah.
So you're marketing every part of your life at this point. And for people that don't think that is inflecting of your business, like opportunities, oh yeah, jobs are looking at social media. Companies are looking at what you do in your time. If you put something out there that's controversial, as much as you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm being real, being too real or offending people could cost you opportunities. I'm not saying that I do that. I think it's better to get the connection of understanding the person before it. But I do think that we have to be wary of our approach, right? And I think that's where we're trying to understand who you are underneath that image and what you portray out to the world is vastly important, right? Because I think AJ, like, I think you're getting into your journey now as a young sir. I'm gonna still call you young sir. I don't care if you're taller than me. That's fine. I'm taller than my dad, and he's still a grown man to me. So, you're pretty much into your journey now, AJ. I got a question to you is, and I'm not turning this into you. I just want your opinion. Is basically, you cut your hair recently, right?
Yeah, I cut my hair and I kept it cut actually. It's low under here.
Okay,
I kind of want to grow it back out, but we'll see what happens.
Okay,
we'll see what happens.
But wasn't your reason for cutting it was the same thing, right?
It was new. It wasn't just because I usually thin on like the sides. I'll be honest with the people watching.
Man said it's starting to go away.
Yeah, I started thinning on the sides, but that happened before, and it came back. It grew back, but that wasn't the reason actually. The real reason was because I just wanted to start fresh. Like I wanted to start fresh. I'm like, I understand how our hair connects us to the nature, but I was like, yo, it's time for a reset. Right?
Yeah.
The world is changing, times are changing. It's time for new energy.
Yeah, and I think that's so, like you said, new energy. Yeah. And I think we don't give enough credit to human beings for wanting new and wanting change. We kind of, at least what I've seen, we kind of just put you in that box. And when you want new, you got to fight for it. You got to work hard to change your image and change it and everything else. I think cutting your hair is a big way to make a statement.
Yeah.
To kind of put that visual image of the new that you're starting, whatever it may be, whether you're getting healthy or you're changing something about your personality and your attitude. For me, it's just being a little bit more. I added that
to it too.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was like a part of it. So after I cut my hair, was like, that's when I started making sure I was watching what I was eating, what I was consuming. I stopped drinking.
See, so it was just an altogether package.
Yeah.
And I think that's a major part of it is like we don't put into our physical appearance into the internal things we change, right? But we will change our external look without changing anything externally, right?
Exactly.
It's kind of wild, right? It's like making a cake. Like, and I use this as a horrible reference, but like imagine like you make a cake, but the inside is all hot dogs, and you just put icing around a bunch of hot dogs. I never seen that. So someone will send me a meme.
Somebody will probably make it now.
But like someone just saying, if and hot dogs aren't bad, by the way. Hot dogs, I mean, not good for you, but you know what I mean. So, but it's like you have to have the interior to match the outside, or you just won't be fulfilled. And even saying that, I know it's cliche. So many people say it. But I think what it is the encouragement to actually do these things that the memes tell you. Not all of them, because some memes are evil, but to live it and to do. I think that's why cutting your hair, it changes something about your appearance, can help, man. But we're diving so much into the appearance part. I did want to dive into some of the topics of tonight. I think the biggest thing I wanted to get into was about people understanding people for the long-term investment. I've taken the approach of looking at everybody as a work in progress, including myself, mainly myself, right?
Yeah.
Like how many of us just literally, we tend to judge others on their path without even looking at ours to reflect, right? And it's always funny when we do that because we'll either sit there and say, if someone's doing better than us, right? They'll say, all right, cool, someone's doing better than us. They're ahead of me in their journey, or they got lucky, or something happened that put them in a place that I don't have it, right? But if someone's doing less than you, you're quick to say, oh, maybe they're lazy or they didn't try or something like that. We tend to undermine it. And it's wild because all we're doing is trying to validate where we are in our space. Yeah. And I've realized in life, like, no one, like, we're all on our individual journeys. Where you are is where you are in that time. And the next steps you will take will be, the next things you'll experience will be dictated by the choices you make, right? Mm-hmm. So if you decide to start eating healthy, start getting your life in order, whatever that may mean, your next steps, whether they're difficult or not, are in a means of going to make your life better, right? Like if you work out, you're going to go to the gym, you're going to suck, and then you're going to get sore. Mm-hmm. So it's going to get more painful before it gets easy. Exactly. Yeah. But you have to realize the action you did was for a good cause. And then that action you do for a good cause is going to lead to a better result later. So it is patience. Jeez, bruh. Patience. That's crazy, right? Patience. Get rid of that. How many of y'all out there have patience, bruh? Serious patience. Not like I'm willing to wait for something to get delivered from Amazon.
Somebody's going to click off this video.
Bro. Oh, God bless you. God bless you. If you don't have patience to stick it out, man, I do say I understand, man. We live in a world where your attention span is being fought over by millions and millions of companies, organizations, and platforms. So I understand. That's why I appreciate you guys tuning in every week and just checking out everything on it. But patience is key. And it's ironic because everyone says it. Be patient. Trust the journey. But no one tells you how to feel in those moments where the journey is difficult.
Yeah.
No one tells you how to feel when it's 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, and you're up late doing some work, and you got to get up, you got to take care of the family. Maybe the money's not where it needs to be. Maybe you didn't eat something that day. You're stressing, and you lay down, and you're like, what is going on? And you just have to kind of trust the process, right? No one tells you how to feel in that moment, and it's a practice. Like, I think instead of saying to people, right, just do, maybe we should say practice, right? Like, it's supposed to not feel good. It's going to feel bad. Yes, that may be true, but why don't we say, hey, just practice, right? Like, AJ, I'll ask you in a serious note, like when it comes to the patience you have and the openness you have towards learning, how serious, like your level of patience and understanding you have now, was it always there?
No.
Not even close, right?
No, not even.
But you had to gain patience. You had to start learning. The more you learned, the more patience you started to gain. And I think it's kind of like that snowball effect. But you try a little bit, you do a little bit better. Like, oh, I was a little bit patient. You don't give up on yourself. And that's where I say being so hard on people, right? Why are we so hard on people?
I think it's really a reflection of ourselves. Really.
Mans said it's a reflection of ourselves. So you're telling, please, I'm going to make you go further than that, because that's a reflection of yourself. I should have put a camera on you while we're filming this so people aren't looking at me while you're talking to me. But
yeah, so I would go in to say that I think majority of the times we get so hard on, or we go so hard on other people because it's like we're trying so hard to not make the mistakes that we made in our lives, if that makes sense.
So we're projecting.
Yeah,
we're trying to not make the same mistakes. We don't want to see other people make the same mistakes we made because it reminds us that we made those mistakes, and that's a part of our ego that maybe we haven't healed yet. Mm-hmm. Oof, and that's a bit heavy.
And also, you see it with parents, and you see this with, with like relatives and people closest. I notice, and it's usually the relatives and the parents that went through, traumatic experiences that haven't yet healed.
Okay.
And they try to put that on you. And I think that's where a lot of that you need to do this, that's not going to pay the bills. Or
you mean they're projecting their fears on you. Oh, yeah. That's normal. It's crazy how normalized that has become.
Yeah.
Like, not want to say normalized, like we became so aware of it. Because that's absolutely true. Like, your parents will project it. We make movies about it. What's that movie with Denzel?
The newest, when he was playing football.
The one in the backyard with the son.
Yeah, he was playing football or something.
He was a baseball player.
Oh, baseball. I knew it was one of them.
I mean, it's fine. Oops. I mean, that's Deion Sanders, though, baseball, football. Yeah. So big shout out to Colorado. I'm excited to see what y'all doing. But even in that movie with Denzel, what is it called now? Not The Backyard. It is filmed in a backyard for a lot of it. But that movie with Denzel where he has his son and his son wants to play baseball and he's telling him not to do it and spoiler alert, he ends up going to the military and not playing baseball. But he projected his fear because of him not making it in baseball. And I hear that so often with youth, right? Like, you're either going to get a parent that's going to like push you because they want you to succeed because they didn't, or they're going to tell you don't because they're trying to protect you of that fear, right? And that's the craziest thing. Like,
what's worse though, either or it could end up either bad or good though,
right?
That's the craziest part.
Yeah,
you can be that parent that's like, yo, succeed. I see you doing this. I see you doing that. But you not succeeding, and you pushing your kid to the limit, saying, oh, you can do this. You can do this. Now they're gonna be so scared to fail, and it's sometimes you have to be wanting to you want to get used to failing, right? And sometimes
I don't. But why do we call it failing? Like, I'm diving in because I have a pet peeve with this.
Words are spells.
Words are spells. Yeah. Why are we labeling? I understand this English. We need to identify things, but we label natural occurring things with individual words almost as diagnosis, right? Like failure. That word means to not achieve the goal in which intended, right? Why do we call it failure if you make a mistake? Shouldn't failure, because like you fail a test if you completed it, you gave your best, and then what you gave was not correct. That's failure, right? So shouldn't we just say you made a mistake? Because failure would be at the end, right?
Failure, I would say failure should be, that should be a term used for a person that's not trying at all. Wow. So failure is not you tried. Yeah, failure is not that you tried and didn't succeed. Failure is you didn't even try at all. Yeah. Failure is you. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. You didn't even get to the point to where you can call it a failure.
Wow.
We got to change it up.
We do have to change it up. I like that. I like that. I'm not calling anyone fail. If you tried every day and you showed up, you haven't failed. The only way you failed is if you didn't try, because then you have no option of even making it better for yourself. Exactly. That's kind of wild, man. I think that's kind of a wild notion to think of it, right? Like, because words are spells, and what we think and how we address it, put our emotions on those words hurt sometimes, right? Like if someone says you fail, because in our culture we have an inherent emotion with this sense of failure, right? We assign grades to it.
I was just about to say that. Like I was about to get into like how all of this failure and the thought of failure and the idea of failure, it starts, I hate to say it starts in the school systems.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it starts at home first.
It does start at home because, like, if you try something and you fail, I mean, it depends on the parent's approach. We can't be too broad. That's true. Because it does depend. But your school system is very much based on grading. But I do think it's ironic, right? Because I think we need to have a system to gauge your success. But do we need to have a standard of failure that's just blanketed, right? Because I think do I think the grading system is wrong? I don't think so. I mean, it's a percentage of how many you get right based on the lessons of the information you retain. So I don't think the system's wrong. I think even the wording, right? Yeah. I think instead of saying this is the levels of success that we're seeing, and I know people will say, hey, you're trying to soften it for kids. Believe me, I'm not. I think kids need to make mistakes. I think we need to put standards in place for kids to try and maybe not do as well because we want you to grow, man. Pain teaches, right? Pain teaches you. But I think our approach with it could be different. I think our approach could be there when it comes to the system. But I think it boils down into individual aspects and approaches, right? Because if I took an art class and I'm making a painting, and there's no sense of like what perfection is because maybe I'm just interpreting it myself. How can you grade me on that? Maybe there's a technique you're learning. I'm all about that. You want to learn technique, you want to lock in and learn something new, then you can be great at how much you practice. But I also think we need to leave things up to interpretation, right?
Yeah.
Because I know my attributes of success are going to be different than yours. Things that align that make me do well in life are not going to be the same as others. Like, I could stand out here and be like, oh, you can run every morning, take cold showers, do breath work, meditate, do all this, and have this approach in business.
I would say success is subjective.
Success is subjective. That is true, right? Well, where do you come from? If success is objective, what do you see as success?
I would say a person. I would look at it like this. I see a person. So for example, a person that's getting up, right? He's all like his bills are paid. He doesn't have $1 million, but he's able to do the things that he wants to do. Without going to somebody or reporting back to someone. I would say that's success, right? And not necessarily being a millionaire, right? I don't mean in the sense of, oh, he has millions of dollars so he doesn't have to report back to somebody. But just being able to live in a system where, you know, oh, you got to go to work, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to buy the nicest cars, right?
Okay.
And if that person is able to get up day in, day out, he's showing up, he's doing what he loves to do, that's success.
So are you telling me that success is freedom?
Yeah, true success.
I can agree with that.
Success is freedom.
I think success is freedom, and I think that's where the money comes into play.
Exactly.
Right? Because most of us get up to go to work to pay the bills of the things we need to live, right? And then take a step further, some of us get up and go to work to pay the bills for the things that we need to live and the things that we want. And then that can dive you deeper in the hole of being locked into the system of working. Joe Rogan once said something like that, right? Joe Rogan was like, he said, a lot of men die in existence of deep desperation, where they get so locked in at an early age with houses, apartments, cars, clothes, doing so many things to impress people that they don't, by the time they realize that job and that sense didn't make them happy, they're so deeply rooted in the system they can't escape to go after what they want. Right? Because to fully take the leap,
I never want to be at that point.
It's interesting you say that, because I don't want to say your generation, because I think everyone's a little bit different, but the younger generation I think is more aware of that happening in the system than the older generation. Because I grew up, believe me, my parents both had jobs. My dad owned a restaurant when he was older. My mom's still works. Everyone in my family works. Good jobs, nothing too crazy, but there are not many entrepreneurs. Of the entrepreneurs, they're not like crazy big. So it's kind of, we all get kind of taught like that's your thing. That's your thing that you can do, that you can lean into, and what you do and what you can discover. But I think, because taking a leap is difficult, right? Yeah. And I'm talking about this now because cutting the hair, it's been a while. We're pushing the show. We're in a new space, new studio. We're doing so much more new things. A lot of people don't realize it took me years to get here. It took me at least 2 years, more than 2. No, it took me more than 2 years of straight grinding to get here. I had to learn from my mistakes. I had to get in a job, get looped in, and have a bunch of stuff and a bunch of debt that I didn't need, work my way out of it the hard way, join a railroad, get out of debt, pay my bills off, only to take the leap to start from the bottom again and work my way back up. Yeah. And but in that reality, like if you are doing that out there and you are going after your dreams and you are chasing, I don't want to say chasing means you're never going to catch it. If you're manifesting, attracting, acquiring, working towards what you want to do in your life, the cliche thing for me to say would be just keep going, don't stop. Because in those many moments, you're not going to believe it. You can't see how you're going to get there, but it's the only way. Yeah. Like, that's the craziest thing, right? Like, I'm going to point out this perspective because this is what I used to say to myself whenever I was feeling down or struggling with something is I would always go out to the skyline in Jersey City at Skyview Park, is it? In the Heights?
Oh, Riverview.
Riverview Park. Why I think Sky? Because the whole sky is there, right?
Hey, I call it Heights View. I call it a whole bunch of names anyways.
Riverview Park. They have the jazz on Fridays in the summer.
Yeah,
I dig it there.
yeah.
Yes, big shout out to the jazz in the park guys. But I used to go there and just look at the entire skyline of New York and New Jersey. And I would literally just say all of this was built by man. Look around you and see the mass infrastructure, how tall these buildings are. There's millions of people right there. All of them have drinking water, electricity, clothing, food, shelter, probably transportation, jobs or something. There's a giant infrastructure running. This is all made by a man.
Be careful, they might news clip that.
So why can't I do something like that?
Yeah.
Why not? And you should think that out there too. Like, to be honest with you, if you're sitting home and you're contemplating going after something, I'm always going to encourage you to do it. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. I'm not going to guarantee it's going to work, but I'm going to encourage you to do it. Because no matter what you get out of the end, you're either going to leave more experienced than you are, you're going to end up better placed than you've been, or even if you fail, you learn something. You had an experience. Like, be okay with taking a journey. I failed. First couple episodes of this podcast were like visually and sound-wise were not good. Trash.
Sorry guys.
And I'm not mad at you. Green. So those don't know, if you're using a soundboard, green on the record button does not mean it's recording.
Yeah, I thought we were.
Yo, I appreciate you. I appreciate
this
you.
Soundboard is hilarious.
And even this podcast now, this is our first episode of me being a solo episode, having you here as a producer with me. And now that we're recording this, I'm like, why do I not have a camera on AJ, even sitting in the producer space, so you guys can see him when he talks? Because you're just going to look at me and my bald head while he talks. But it's learning. It's so raw and learning, bro. And it's beautiful. And if you can be surrounded by people that are willing to learn, butt heads, argue, complain about each other, not agree, if you can do that, then you can grow with people. Yeah. And that's where I say it's a long-term adjustment. Because even in relationships, here we go. Here we go now. We're going to get into the relationship part. Ooh, I'm not a relationship guru.
Oh, here we go again.
I'm just saying. But even relationships, not always romantic. It could be everything, man. From when you're at work with the relationships people you have, for the relationship you have with your friends, your community. Relationships matter when it comes to building and growing, right? We have to be willing to learn from each other, educate each other, understand each other's opinions, and grow from there, right? Like, if someone's words hurt you, ask why they hurt you. Just ask. Ask yourself, why do their words hurt me? Are they criticizing me? Ooh, is my ego hurting right now? Do I feel bad about myself? Don't make me feel bad about myself. Like, are you saying something that offends me because it triggers something else? Like, do I have that understanding of who I am? That's a big part even there. I mean, we're just going down rabbit holes today. Of taking the time to really know and understand yourself. But I think these are important things. They're always on my mind when I meet people out here. Like, I believe every person inherently is good. And wants to do good. I just think we as people don't always have the skills needed to do the good we want to do. Think about that, bro.
Wow.
Think about that, though. Think about that.
Wow.
Every person out here wants to do well. We just don't have the skills needed to do the good we want to do.
That's where the distraction lies and comes in and takes that away from you.
Well, no, I don't necessarily. Do you think the distraction takes away the knowledge you have to grow, or do you think it's just a means of the natural desire for humans to acquire information? Think about it, because think about social media, right? Everyone's like, social media is so bad.
I don't necessarily, because I know we talked about this in the last podcast. We
do. We talk about tech.
I don't necessarily think social media is bad. Like I said before, I think it comes down to the people that are using social media not knowing themselves.
Oh, you all right, bro. So that's I don't want to say it's a loaded statement. It's a deep statement because like now.
Because I know we got to go back.
Because now you're basically saying it doesn't matter what's put in front of you. It matters your understanding of self, and that's going to be how you perceive the world. Oh God, see now where you're going? Because literally you're saying, and which isn't wrong. I think you're absolutely right. The way you see yourself is how you're going to see the world.
Yeah,
that's kind of wild. Like, because we can all sit here And it's easy to point out the good things we like about ourselves, but it's hard to point out the things we don't like. And those are things we don't want to talk about. We don't want anyone else talking about. But I think you have to talk about them.
You have to.
Like every role that I've been given, and especially when especially when you make the decision to change your life, make a pivot, go into a new role, new job, new family, new career, new spouse, new friends, whatever newness you're going to have. Yeah. No new friends, they say. Why I say forget that. You need some new friends in your life. Learn some stuff, right? Yeah. I like the song. Big shout out to Drake. I don't even want to give I don't even want to talk about the whole thing with Drake. I don't know enough information about his leaked photos and what happened there. So
I was told about that. I don't even want to.
Yeah, we're just gonna say shout out to Drake and all his fans.
Shout out to old Drake, man. Shout out to old
Drake. Old Drake. Now you're changing up into the conversation. Shout out to old Drake. We're gonna get into the music piece because we're talking about how knowing yourself and how it reflects the world around you. That's a big controversy right now with music in the game, right?
We can talk.
Because
we can talk about that too.
Yasin Bey, aka Mos Def, huge fan. He did make a statement that Drake is in hip hop. He is, and he made this statement. He made this statement that like Drake's music is something you hear at Target when shopping, and I was like, could I? Yeah, I'm not mad, but is that a bad thing that hip hop has gotten to the point where the culture has evolved to be played in a place like Target and not an underground place? What's wrong with that? Like, because if you say hip hop is a culture, I think Mos Def is right on his point as well. I don't think he's wrong. I think based on his experiences, the music he makes and his views, he's absolutely right. Because that genre of hip hop in which he values and sees doesn't fit that narrative. But at the same time, Drake is making what he likes, and he's a businessman. He's building himself up. So it's going to be a bit different, but based on what you want, right? Yeah. That's why I think it all determines where you want to go.
Oh, I don't want to go into that.
We don't have to. I mean, why? We got a little bit of time left.
I was just going to bring up how I don't think Drake likes the music as much. He doesn't like the new music as much as he did in the past. I think.
Is that based upon who he's collaborating with?
I would say, yeah. And you can see it in who he's actually working with.
That's not a lie. Yeah, because
I think he's being forced into making this new age music.
Why do you call it new age?
I say new age because there's no real substance in it, and I don't know how to. I don't want to go too deep.
See, this is the business side, right? And this is where I encourage everybody to learn all sides. Because when you consume music, understand where it's coming from and who made it, and understand the purpose behind it, right? And I'm not trying to be mean to any artist, but any of the songs that go viral and the big pop songs that go viral in the world, you either need one of two things. You need a unique way of telling a unique story that people can find fascinating, to learn, hear about, and understand, or you need to find a unique way for people to understand a very vague story that a lot of people can not abide by, but they can attest to it. They can agree to it. They can experience, right? Bo Burnham made a statement about that where he was like, I'm going to talk about a 5'1", 5'8" young ladies that's tan skin, light skin, brown, dark, blonde hair, pretty brown, blue, black eyes, is because listen to songs. Like, if it's a business and they are pop artists and they have writers, the song's going to be so you can abide by it. But the beautiful thing of music, and now I'm going to take it to David Banner. David Banner once said, they used to say to him, can you tell us the meanings behind your songs? And he said, why would I do that? There are probably people out there that have taken this song and they have interpreted how they want for their lives and what it means to them, and it's helped them. So if I tell them what it means to me, it could in fact take away the meaning to them and disrupt their peace forever and just main point of their life. Think about that.
That's true too.
Think about that.
That's deep.
And I say all that to bring back to the point of you saying we see the world.
Knowledge yourself.
How we see ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing.
Music too. And music, taking in knowledge or information through the ears is also important too. Like if you're listening, like we understand when you understand music, you understand frequencies and you understand how, even going back to like our ancestors, right? How we communicated sound, drums and 808s, right? You were, DJ, big DJ, big DJ energy. Yeah, so big man things. When we're listening to these songs, we don't even pay attention to like the 808s, and we might listen to the beat and like, oh, this beat is good, right? But what's being said in the song, right? What's the message being said? That's because words are spells, right? Yeah. And then once again, words are spells. So if you listening to think about a community, right? If you're giving a community a song, and then that community doesn't necessarily know who they are, now they're living through the song that they was listening to.
Ooh, they take on that personality. So it's almost like a spell putting you in that vibe. And that's so true, bro. Because I think
Booty meat.
I'm going to leave that alone.
Booty meat.
I'm going to leave that alone. Everybody has their own musical taste. And
that ain't music.
Sexy Red's not my cup of tea. That doesn't mean it's not good. It's just not my cup of tea. That's what I would say. But I don't think her music is made for me. So I'm going to take it there. But what I will say is this. Most of us have put on our favorite track, got in the car, and drove to it, jammed out to it. I know the ironic thing enough is I remember my girlfriend's daughter said, I can't wait till I can drive. So that way I could just put music on and just cruise around at night. Like, how peaceful is that, yo? I guarantee everybody has a song and a track that they play when they're in a type of mood. That fresh haircut, just got out of work, Friday, and you got paid, about to go home and shower and pick up your boo and head out and have a good night's dinner and some drinks, and you know it's about to be a good night. You know you have a playlist for that.
Facts.
And then when you about to go into work and you got to mess some stuff up, you got a lot on your plate, you playing some ratchetness to that. Like, I remember that meme. There was a meme about like a guy, he was going into like a corporate meeting. He's like, we only listen to music that talks about selling drugs and hoes up in here. And you're like, yeah, it's the energy, man. It's people you wouldn't realize because they don't live that life. They don't need to buy. It's where music transcends. It's where music transcends. And I do think we have to be conscious of what we're saying. I do think we have a lot of amazing artists that are conscious of what they're saying. But I do also believe that we have a lot of amazing artists that are making good sounding music. Like, there's music out here that's just like, it's just crazy what the sound is good. I can't remember the song. I don't know who it's by. I don't want to even butcher it, but it was like, I'm gonna butcher it if I say it.
Just do it.
It's I think it's the thing is, I need a big boy, something like that. I don't know if it's SZA or somebody. I know I'm pulling out my phone, but I just need to find this song. It's because the hook is so catchy. The musicality, at least to me, is super catchy.
I'm trying to think. I can't even think of the song.
Like, I can't find the name, but it is definitely something that is, and it's not. How is it not in my saves? How is it not in my saves?
It's probably not that good. No, I'm joking.
Oh, he said it's probably not that good.
I'm joking too.
But I'm gonna look it up. Bro, let me see. You got you humming it. SZA, I was right. It is? Oh. It is SZA. It's SZA called Big Boy. Yo, the melody in that joint is the melody, the vocals, the harmonies, they're so fire. I'm like, whoever made this composition is fire.
I ain't gonna lie, there's a song, a lot of controversy around this artist too, but Doja Cat, she got a new song.
Oh, she be outside, Hills. Bro.
That song is fire. I can't even lie. Like it's dope.
But see, neither of those songs, these of those songs are made for men. But when you hear it, you're like, yo, this got that energy.
You know why though? It's the melodies, the sound.
Yes, the sound can be catchy.
Frequency,
but bro, every time we say words of spells, and I'm thinking the melodies are like the snake trainer that's playing the flute and all the
and then the words, you're not even like aware of the words that's being.
You don't need to, because I'm hitting the influences of everything you say. What is it? Designer said all the hit records have vowel sounds on the words, like panda, 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 panda.
It's hypnosis.
Yeah, it's crazy through frequency.
Uzi said it too.
Whoo!
It's hypnosis. I just want to rock. Yada yada yada. See, it's hypnosis. It gets you to want to listen
crazy.
to it more.
Yeah. Wow.
And they know this, and this is like, and with our people specifically, right? Our ancestral backgrounds go back to sound. So like we understand that, okay, this is how I gain an audience, right?
Wow,
you repeat it. If you look at any like talks with like for example, right, somebody that I look up to, Dr. Umar.
Yes.
Usually peace and Pan-Africanism. Getting it in your head so that
it's got that rhyme to it to stay embedded.
Exactly.
I'm not mad at that. I totally understand where they're coming from with that. I will say
a lot of them use it for bad.
You have to be, man. I think you got to be conscious of what you're using your power for. But it's difficult because we need money to live.
Yeah.
It's difficult because we like popularity. We like being known. People want to be famous. We have dreams of being big stars and having big accolades, and I think you should have those accolades. But I think we have to be aware of it because there's so much we can dive in, but I think we definitely need to be aware of it. But it's important. And I'm super glad we went over that topic as well. And I think, we've been talking for a minute. I think we're going to kill it. For today. Because there's so much I want to talk to you guys about. We'll probably do this again.
In the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. In the next episode of A State Aloud. Because I do want to thank you guys for tuning in to the first solo episode. Just here to have a conversation, what comes on to mind and things that are around. If there's any topics you want to hear us discuss or want my opinion on, or AJ, just shoot us an email at astateofloud@gmail.com, or you can literally just leave a comment under this video. If there's a question you want us to talk about in the next solo video, we're going to do them anytime we don't have any guests.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much. AJ, as always, my guy. Appreciate you
of course.
Being here for these tapings. There'll be a lot more. We have a lot more coming for you guys in the State Aloud, especially if you loved our first run of guests. We have some amazing people throughout Jersey City, Hudson County, and some special guests that will be coming on from the outer reaches as well. So like always, there's nothing but love. Peace.
Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff.
Yes. Comment, like, subscribe. Love you guys. Peace.